Man United fans are patient because majority of us have gone through the same guy for 26 years. So it's like getting about, that sounds crazy, but it's like getting out of a relationship and not willing to go back because you've been so comfortable. I don't want to be jumping from relationship to relationship. Mm-hmm. So that's why a lot of Man United fans are patient. However, Man United as a club will not give the same amount of time and leeway to managers that some other clubs can have. And so our issue is that we can't buy our way out of this. Two, we have a cash flow issue. We have a massive financial issue. Like, people need to realise why we didn't sign anyone in January, or why we only signed Patrick Dorgu and Aiden Heaven in January, is because we weren't allowed to spend money. And the reason we weren't allowed to spend money is because we have no money, Kweku. Because the reason why Sir Jim, and yes, INEOS, this is me not defending INEOS. I need to make this very, very clear. This is me not defending INEOS, but this is our situation. We have no money whatsoever. If it wasn't for Ratcliffe's investment, the added investment that he put 250 into the club, we've had 5 years of consecutive losses. He put 250 in the club. We would have negative cash flow, bro. Football clubs don't really make profit. There's not many profitable, unless you're Brighton, there's not many profitable football clubs. You man don't make profit. No. But you man don't have negative cash flow. No. Businesses shouldn't have negative cash flow. Manchester United as an institution now we would have had negative cash flow if Sir Jim Ratcliffe did not help us out. So at the end of the day, when the Glazers announced, you know what, we kind of need more P's because the way we keep taking from a club and the way we're going, we might not be able to do that anymore. Anyone in the world, there's like 9 billion people or 8 billion people in this world, anyone could have invested in Man United if you had the P's. Only one person done that. Show proof of funds and went to bed with the Glazers. So that's our situation. That's our reality.
Can you clarify something? The proof of funds, who wants to see proof of funds?
The Glazers. So basically, remember, we're worth 3-point-something billion. That's our estimated value. The Glazers asked for stupid money for the whole thing, which was 6.5, which no one's going to do that because not only are you paying 6.5 billion, you then have to get us out of the mess that... And bear in mind, right now, the mess that we in is gazy because Ratcliffe doesn't even want to put all of his money into the mess to clear out all of it. Why should he clear out the debt that the Glazers...
For 25% of the club,
For 25%. No normal human being would do that. So we need to face our reality. And that's why, because right now we've invested into new training facilities, which that's being built. 2, we're looking at a way to build a stadium because our stadium's very old and leaking and has been the butt of jokes for how long. And 3, so bear in mind, if we're doing all that, this means we can't buy our way out of this stuff. So Carrington has to save us. And Carrington can save us because... No. It can. Because the reason it can, because when we actually get people from Carrington properly and not circumstantial, there's difference how we get people from the first team, the under-21s or under-18s to the first team. The ones that are good enough, normally, if you're good enough at United, you're good at under-18 level, you're good at under-21 level, and then it's like... You're too good for these levels, get into the first team. Now, there's only been with a couple people since post-Fergie. I can name you one, and that was Mason Greenwood, right? Right? When he came to the first team, didn't bat an eye. No one was like, who's this kid? We were like, oh, yeah, I can see why. That wasn't the same with people like Scott McTominay or Marcus Rashford. That was circumstantial. Marcus Rashford took his opportunity and became a Man United player. Scott McTominay took his opportunity with Mourinho's fetish.
Probably wasn't circumstantial.
Exactly. Now look at the difference. You see where I'm coming from. So the ones that actually go on to make it and have a future in the first team, other than Mason Greenwood for what he done, that's how we normally bring up Alejandro Garnacho. That wasn't circumstantial. That was, you're too good for these levels, so get into the first team. Yeah, and we don't do that often.
But I feel like you're viewing, and again, maybe you can correct me, I think you're viewing Carrington the wrong way. In terms of your financial situation, you need Carrington to get to a point where you've got players that... Even if they're not good enough for your first team, you can sell them for a quick 20 mil. The same way you do with Lewis Hall. It's not necessarily just about getting players into your first team. So it's about flipping players that cost you nothing.
Exactly.
For 20, 30, 40 mil.
Exactly.
That's what the academy should be for. Not should be for. But that's in modern football with PSR, that's how people have to use their academy.
So that's a way to do that. So that's what we need to do, because really and truly, look at the way Rashford will probably pop at Villa. Look at the way McTominay's living life at thingy now. Look at James Garner at Everton. Look at Angel Gomez at Lille. All those guys left for free. If we were smart and properly and actually ran like a normal football club, we would have flipped them for P's. So we do have the capability of doing that. We just don't do that. And that's why we're trying, that's why we're sorting out like Carrington now as we speak. But that's going to take time. But unfortunately now we need a couple to come into the first team, because don't get twisted. I know that the substitutions yesterday against Tottenham.
Crazy.
But look at the game. And Listen, I'm all for one for making those subs, but I do get as to why Amarin did not make those subs.
But then you don't make any.
But
subs.
don't make any subs.
Why
Yeah, you're right.
Why are you giving Chido Obi like his? And again, it's not a sentimental game. That's forever going to be his Manchester United debut, coming on in the drab loss against Spurs for 3 minutes to do nothing for Casemiro.
Do you remember Ronaldo's debut?
Yeah, but against Bolton, he actually did something. Yeah. It was a proper debut. I do remember his debut.
Yeah, so not everyone gets.
But like, brother, you didn't need to bring him on.
No, you didn't.
You didn't need to bring him on.
You didn't.
Like that. There was no reason to bring him on for 3 minutes for Casemiro. But then
if we did, we would have been like, why didn't he make subs? Like it was a losing battle either way.
Okay, so make the subs earlier.
He should have. He should have. But what?
You have to admit, and again, I'm still aboard the Amarin train. I feel like he's a good manager. But like, there are a few things that he's doing that are a little bit crazy, scary, spooky.
Yeah, no. So this is the thing. He's not helping himself right now. Like the Patrick Dorgu thing on the right wing back was kind of like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just help. Like, we know you've been dealt a bad hand, but help yourself.
Yeah.
And in which he did. He played it on the left wing back, and I think he played all right yesterday.
He did.
And so there's that. And managers do that sometimes because you've seen like, oh, why is this guy still playing there? Why like managers are tapped. We all know that. They're so fixated in their ideas that they seem to miss normal stuff. And I've just seen that from watching football over the years. So I do get that. Amarin, help yourself. But we've got to look at this. We can't just bring youngsters into a crazy game because, bro, if we bring those youngsters, normally when you bring a youngster into the team, they can play next to someone. Have a 30-year-old to hold their hand. I remember when we brought Johnny Evans up, we had Vidic there because we had, again, Johnny Evans, circumstantial. That one, we had defensive injuries. I remember there was times we were playing Carrick and Fletcher centre back. We brought up Johnny Evans, but he had Vidic there at the time. And even though Vidic was at the back end of his career, Vidic kind of helped him out. Johnny Evans went on to go win the Premier League, became a good footballer, and now he's back at the club. But anyway, that's what happened. We don't. All of our 30-year-olds right now are cooked. Right? Like, you can't bring in a midfielder and say, normally, you could bring in a midfielder.
Bruno's not cooked.
No, but Bruno's not cooked. But Bruno yesterday had to do way more jobs than he should have instead of helping out a youngster. If we brought a youngster on, Bruno should be there to like just help the youngster throughout the game or Casemiro.
Yeah.
But Casemiro would have left that youngster to drown, bro. Like we can't. We're not in a situation to bring in youngsters right now, so it's a really, really hard situation.
So with Manchester United, then still in the FA Cup, still in Europa League. You look at the injuries now because there was a bit of confusion yesterday. It was like obviously Ahmed's out for the rest of the season. I
want to hum myself. Good night.
and then there's a bit of confusion pre-game. I don't know if it's rest of the season or what, but we're like, is Kobe out for the rest of the season as well? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Is Kobe out for the rest of the season?
No, Kobe's out for multiple weeks.
For 6 weeks?
Yeah, probably.
So it's the rest of the season?
No, we've got 2 months.
6 weeks is...
That's a month and a half.
By the time it gets up to...
Yeah, 6 weeks like April, bro. Feck. I forgot. That's like Easter. Oh, damn.
Maybe you can make the Europa League final if you make it. So like, and a lot of Man United fans, they've written off the season, but when you have these write-off seasons, the people you latch onto it, like, I know Ahmad didn't come from the academy, but these young players that you can kind of live vicariously through, and Kobe's one of those, Ahmad's one of those. Now those 2 players are out for an extended period of time. What Man United got to fight for this season? Can you achieve those goals without your best player?
No, we know, being realistic, no. Because, I'm sorry, Tottenham are not a good team.
They're terrible.
Tottenham are terrible. I could see why they lost to Leicester at home. I could see why they lost to Ipswich at home. Really and truly, if Garnacho could finish, we could have easily won that game.
I've got to hold my hands up. Like, Garnacho is a player that I do still rate. I still think he can go on to be a good player. But recent weeks, I'm seeing in definitive moments like CTE. I'm seeing like, brother,
crazy decision making. No, but that's fine for a 20-year-old. I think crazy decision making is fine for a 20-year-old.
No, but it's not even the decision making, bro. It's like the execution is the thing I'm seeing that is concerning me. Like,
I've been trying to tell you.
The finish, like where he skied it. I said, it's fair enough if you hit it down the keep, like
hit it straight at the keeper. That went
to sky it. It's
why?
Like why? What were you trying? Like, how has that happened? Like, why has that happened? Like, that's the thing that bothers me. That's not decision making. That's just like, Did that come off the wrong part of your foot?
No, so what it is that in his head he's the best player in the world.
Yes, I know. And that's what makes him great.
So that's what makes him great, because he has the mentality to be a Man United player.
He does. He's got amnesia, bro. When he fucks up, he just literally he forgets about it.
And top players need that.
Smoking that Ami, bro.
Do you know what I mean? And top players need that. Top players do need that. Now he just needs the execution. He needs his feet to match his mind, which can come over time. So that's the least of my worries. Yeah, mate. We don't. Well, this is the thing. United fans, you could have said we wrote off the season in November when you get a season. Yeah. Because this is what Dan Ashworth didn't want to do. Yeah. Right. And I get why Dan Ashworth didn't want to do that, because you would have to write off a season. But I think it's funny when people say, "Oh yeah, we write off our season," but when you come with the reality of writing off your season, you don't realize how bad it is.
Yeah, right? you can't write, because the thing is, it's like writing off the season, but there's no guarantee next season will be better.
Exactly. So we need to.
Tomorrow's not always promised, bro. And I look at Manchester United and I look at Amram, and I just look at I look at the toll that being a Premier League manager takes on you. He looks older.
Watch how quick his hair will go white.
Bro, his hair will go great. Like, and unless he does an Arteta thing where he dyes it, bro, the guy is going to look so much older.
Watch how quick, because I noticed this with Oli, I noticed it with Mourinho.
Yeah, man.
18 months into the, Oli came in with normal hair. Yeah. Started getting, I was like, it's the stress that much. Well, this is the thing, because
it's an impossible job, man. Because the thing is, you've got the pressure.
But we're trying to make it least impossible.
Nah, it's impossible.
No. It's not impossible. It looks impossible right now. But one thing I will say is that INEOS have come in and they've realised the mess we're in, and they're trying to fix it. But
whether there's a and this is where I think there has to be a differentiator. I know that you guys have been in the mud and people haven't been trying for a long time, so this is like what you have to take it. But also there is levels of execution. So they're trying, but it doesn't mean they're doing a good job of it. Like, they're trying.
No, they've made a couple of mistakes.
But there's levels to doing it, and I just feel like their track record in terms of owning football. We'll see how it pans out in it. Like, I think Man United are in a very difficult position, and financially, Jim Ratcliffe has bailed you out. But I don't. If I look at each person, right, I know that Jason Wilcox but being the technical director or being the director of football at Southampton is very different to coming and doing that at Manchester United, and having to fill Dan Ashworth's role. They're all taking steps up. Like, being the COO at Man City, Omar Barada, is very different to being the CEO of Manchester United. Yeah. People are taking a step up in their roles, and we're seeing if they can do it or not. And I just don't know that. I don't know if they can, and we'll see. Maybe that's me being pessimistic, but I just look at the situation, I look at the finances, I look at where you're at, look at the squad composition, and I say, wow, this is a big job that I don't know if Ruben Amorim can fix, but we'll see.
Well, it's the thing. It's a big job, and I feel like Ruben Amorim knew what he was coming into. Like, facing the reality of it, like, he said we're going to suffer, and we are suffering, so he hasn't shied away from that. And I think he knew, because at the end of the day, the brother did not want to come in season. Yeah. He didn't. Yeah. And for this exact reason, he did not want to come in season, so I totally get it. In regards to INEOS, listen, people were focusing on INEOS right now, and yes, there's so many mistakes INEOS have done. I know the Dan Ashworth thing doesn't look good now that he's not with us. I know the raising of ticket prices doesn't look good, especially with the product that we're providing. I totally get that. But one of my favourite white people sayings is that you got to break a few eggs to make an omelette, innit? Yeah, do you know what I mean?
No, I don't be eating that Man United omelette.
No, neither do I. But for the grass to get greener, we have to sort out our finances. Two, we have to streamline a lot of our stuff, because, again, The Athletic came out with an article about our data department. Now, data in football started happening around 2010, 2011. That's when big clubs started to do that. Do you want to guess what year we started to get a data thingy in?
16?
No, 2021, bro. We were 10 years behind. So not only are we 10 years behind everything, we've been, like, don't be surprised when Man United... Dan Ashworth was our first director of football. Like, don't be surprised how behind we are with everything. And this kind of derives back from Fergie. And I've always said it from early. Like, I clocked it was around 2010 where I clocked where football was modernising and Man United just didn't get it with the times. At first, I was a kid. I was 13 at 2010. So I remember, for me, it was social media. And I remember when clubs started having social media, and the last club to ever have social media was Man United. But that's because Fergie, I'm guessing that was down to Fergie. Fergie was like, we're not having social media. Yeah. And I get that, because we still won 2 titles. But then as soon as Fergie went, oh, look, social media. Like, clubs have... We've just signed PSG's old commercial director, in which his role is to bring sponsorships into the club. Like, look at PSG have stuff with Jordan. AC Milan have stuff with Off-White and Puma.
Yeah,
and stuff
but
but I'm not saying this is going to fix us, but this is stuff that normal big football clubs have. We don't have that.
Yeah, but like that can also go the other way, right? Because like when you're a club like Arsenal, you ain't winning stuff. You're doing well, but you're not winning stuff, and you do those commercial things. Sometimes the perception of that is like, yo, are you a brand or are you a football club?
Granted.
And I get it brings in P's and brings in money.
But one, we need to bring in P's, and two, we need to actually just act like a football club.
But the thing is, it's like, I actually have a different view on that, and obviously we've got to move on to talking about my football club. But like, when I look at Manchester United, yeah, I get it. It's about bringing in money so you can actually bring in the players. But ultimately, we don't look at the P's that Real Madrid bring in. They do it automatically because they're Real Madrid. We don't look at the P's that Bayern bring in.
Yeah, but they've had that in place.
Yeah, cool. We just look at trophies. And ultimately, you can talk about all of this, and you've explained it brilliantly in terms of the finances. But ultimately, when you're looking at the league table, Manchester United are 15th in the Premier League. People don't really care about the nuances of what's going on.
Granted, but what we have to get back up into the table, we have to fix.
I don't think you're going to get back up, unfortunately.
So we're going to stay 15th forever?
I just think that the Manchester United that we knew, and the Manchester United that would attract the biggest players, and the Manchester United that are undoubtedly the top 5 biggest clubs in the world, I think that those days are the same way that I have to accept it for Chelsea in terms of Roman Abramovich when it has changed. Football changes, and I thought that Man United would be one of these infallible institutions like a Bayern Munich, like a Real Madrid that would never be able to fall, but we're watching it fall right now, and I don't.
No, we're watching it fall right now, and so you just don't think we're ever going to get back?
Nah, I don't. No, I don't. No, okay. I don't. And I suppose we can segue. We've talked about right now. We can segue into my terrible institution of a football, not terrible institution. That's